What's going on, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Pokemon Journey series. We're going to be covering episode 53 today. And as the preview for this episode suggested, Go caught Suicune. That actually happened. It wasn't bait. He actually caught this Pokemon. So, I just want to say, before we get onto the episode review, I just want to put a little disclaimer here. I know this episode was quite a bit of a controversial episode, so in the comment section down below, please try to be as civil as possible. I don't want to start a war between people. I don't want to see fighting going on between people, so please try to be as civil as possible. Also, again, if you're new to the channel, you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Anyways, let's get on to that review, shall we? So the premise of this episode is that there was a Suicune sighting in the Johto region at a random lake, because Suicune goes around and it purifies lakes, or waters, or rivers, or ponds, or whatever. But it goes around and it purifies water and gets rid of pollution. So Professor Sakuragi sends his two research fellows, Ash and Go, to research and figure out what's going on. So Ash and Go head out. They're super eager to see if they can find Suicune. As soon as they arrive on the scene, they find out that the lake is completely polluted. They thought, hey, Suicune was sighted here. Why is it still polluted? Shouldn't Suicune be purifying the water? That's when it turns out that there's a bunch of hunters that are purposely polluting the water. And, Ash and Go go to confront them. Now, the reasoning behind the hunters polluting this lake repeatedly is they're doing it so that Suicune can continuously purify the lake while they pollute it, and then they repeat the process. And as a result, this causes Suicune to lose its stamina over time. And also, it ends up getting poisoned. So Suicune shows up, tries to deal with them, but it's too weak to really do much. And unfortunately, Ash and Go have to step in and try to save Suicune over here. And things are looking a bit grim, so Go makes a decision and throws a Pokeball, a regular Pokeball, at Suicune. And he literally catches this Pokemon, which completely shocks everybody. It angers the hunters, so they basically tell Ash and Go that, because you're messing with us, we're going to have to capture you guys and detain you guys, and take Suicune by force. So Ash ends up holding off the hunters and tells Go to run away and protect Suicune. So Ash holds off the hunters with Lucario helping out, whereas Go, Sobble, and Cinderace take off with Suicune. And Go ends up tripping and Suicune comes out of the Pokeball, and Suicune immediately does not trust Go, and ends up freezing the Pokeball, and ends up running into this tree trunk area, and there's a bunch of Pokemon that are also there, which were shown at the beginning of the episode that are seemingly there to protect Suicune, and because Suicune actually helped out these Pokemon because they were stuck in this polluted lake area, so they're basically protecting their protector, which I thought was pretty interesting. So even though Suicune does not trust Go whatsoever, Go is determined to help this Pokemon out and nurse it back to health. So he uses a Alolan Executor to basically keep as a scout and look out for those hunters and make sure that they're safe and they don't find them, and make sure that they're coming to let them know. And Raichu over here is used to gather some berries, which Go gives to Suicune and then the other Pokemon that are protecting Suicune. And eventually, after a while, they start to kind of trust Go a little bit more, but Suicune's still a little apprehensive, and Go notices that Suicune's leg is injured, so he takes out a potion and tries to heal it, which Suicune is, it stings for Suicune, so he actually takes out a handkerchief that Koharu apparently gave to Go, so neat. So the hunters eventually figure out where Go's hiding out at, and ambushes them, which Go apparently prepared ahead of time and caught a Drowsy off-screen. More on that later, but anyways, he did this in order to counter the poison types, which seems to be very effective, and he seems to be doing pretty good at first until the boss takes out a Houndoom, which takes out Drowsy, and once again the tables have turned. And the hunters, while taking this opportunity while Go is still struggling a bit, actually managed to get Suicune, who is still recovering from its injuries, get it in a net and drags it down. And this was probably the most infuriating part in the entire episode. So one of the hunters just starts kicking Suicune repeatedly, basically abusing this Pokemon. It's gotta be one of the, it's a pretty dark scene. And I was actually getting really mad too. I'm like, dude, how could you do that to a legendary Pokemon? How could you treat a legendary Pokemon like that? Like, seriously, screw you, dude. You're a bastard. How could you treat Suicune like that? But anyways, you can see that Go is super desperate at this point, and despite the fact that this is happening, he tries to stop this from happening. And the hunter's Pokemon prevent Go from getting any further, and they're about ready to attack Go, and that's when Ash shows up and saves Go over here. Now, as they're battling the hunters, they're still kind of struggling slightly, and Cinderace at one point ends up getting poisoned, and Suicune sees this and realizes, the same thing happened to Suicune. Suicune was poisoned previously. And this allows Suicune to gain its strength back, ends up destroying the net, and Go at this point starts commanding Suicune, turns the tides of the battle, and defeats the hunters, in which Go has Suicune freeze the hunters, and they call Officer Jenny, and they are taken off to jail. So nice job, guys. You took out the hunters, and sounds like they're a pretty dangerous group of people, so nice job, guys. Now with that all said and done, Go actually goes to release Suicune, because Suicune has its own duty. It has its own journey to take. However, Suicune, having, been around Go and seen what Go has went through to basically protect it and nurse it back to health, has grown to trust Go and decides to go back to the Sakuragi Labs, which shocks everybody. And the episode comes to an end with Suicune seemingly leaving the lab to go purify lakes all over the world. No, it's not really specified, but yeah, it turns out that our boy Go has a legendary Pokemon now, and if it's roaming around the world, he can probably call it, wherever it's at. And that's where the episode comes to a conclusion. Now, this may come as a complete surprise to all of you, but I love this episode. I thought this was a fantastic episode with beautiful writing, for the most part. There are some slight writing issues I do have, which I will say for the con section of this episode review, but I have to say that this was a fantastic episode overall. I thought the writing was great, and I thought it made sense, and it is a good culmination of Go's journey up to this point, and how much he's grown. Because at the beginning of Journeys, Go was a very different character than the Go that we see now in this episode. In early Journeys, Go was very self-centered. He was somewhat selfish. He didn't have a whole lot of friends. He didn't really bond with Pokemon. He just wanted to catch Mew. That was his goal. But as Journeys has gone on, you get to see that this character has changed so much as time has gone on. He's less selfish. He's less self-centered. He's learned to, be friendly and get along with others. He's gained more friends as a result. He's learned how to bond with his Pokemon. He's more considerate of his Pokemon's feelings. And you can see that in this episode with him going out of his way to protect Suicune and do whatever he can to protect this Pokemon. You get to see just how much this character has grown so much, and it is just beautiful writing in my opinion. Now, if you've been watching my reviews, you'll know that I'm not exactly fond of Go catching Pokemon Go style. I'm just not a big fan of this kid just chucking Pokeballs at Pokemon, and he catches them on the first try, and they just go back to the lab, and we only see them very seldomly. I'm just not a big fan of that. But in this episode, it's justified that he catches his Pokemon, a legendary Pokemon, on the first try, because Suicune was worn out. It was basically purifying the water of this lake repeatedly as the hunters kept polluting it. So it kept purifying it, they would pollute it, and then, rinse and repeat, and eventually it wore Suicune down. And eventually Suicune got poisoned, and then it got restrained. So, I can accept the fact that Go caught this Pokemon in a Pokeball because of these circumstances. Even though it should have been an Ultra Ball, I can accept the fact that Go did this. Plus, he did it in order to save Suicune. So, yeah. Also, can we appreciate the fact that Go brought along some Pokemon that we haven't seen in a little while? Like, we had Raichu over here help out with gathering berries for Suicune. And we had Alolan Executor, because Alolan Executor is just huge. Basically as a lookout to see if the hunters are nearby or to look out for them. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. I want to see more of that in upcoming episodes, because Go has so many Pokemon, and so many of them just disappear into the back of the labs. I kind of want to see more of them more often, so they don't end up getting forgotten. Now, there isn't a whole lot I dislike in this episode, but I will say I was not fond of the Drowsy capture, because, again, it was something that was done off-screen. It was like, oh, hey, we need Go to somehow counter these hunters. Okay, let's have them catch some random Drowsy and do it off-screen. Wonderful idea, guys. So, yeah, I was not fond of that at all. That's even worse than Go catching Pokemon Go style, in my opinion. Kind of getting sick of Journeys doing a lot of stuff off screen. They really need to stop doing that. Now, this isn't really much of a con, more so a concern I do have for Suicune. I really hope that this isn't a one-off thing where Suicune just appears in this episode and it's never seen again. Like, don't get me wrong, we definitely don't need a Suicune just showing up all the time and just, saving Ash and Go all the time, and then it becomes a bit of a Deus Ex Machina. Don't want to see that, but I would like to see it, occasionally, maybe it faces off against another legendary Pokemon at some point down the road. I just don't want this to, be a one-off thing. It's like, oh yeah, Suicune's, got its duty. It's just traveling around the world, purifying lakes, and we never see it again. I don't want that to happen. Since they went through the whole thing of Go catching this Pokemon and it going back to the lab with Go, yeah, I want to see Suicune from time to time. Alrighty guys, that's all I got for this video. So again, I thought this was a fantastic episode. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. So guys, in the comment section down below, post your thoughts on this episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you okay with Go catching Suicune? What do you think about the writing in this episode? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Make sure to be civil in the comment section down below, by the way. I don't want to see any fights. Be as civil as possible. If you don't like this episode or like this episode, let's all try to be friendly with one another and, respect each other's opinions. So, anyways, that's all I got. I'll talk to you guys later. You all have a great day or night wherever you're at, and I'll see you all later. Bye.